We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn, baby.
So last time we were on, as you guys may have remembered, I was solo, except for my duet with Sam Jackson. Did you see that? Yeah, that's right. Me and Sam, you know, crooned to the sad ending to 2014, where, you know, the brothers were getting blasted down all over the place. Yeah, I mean, it's not funny, but you know, it was weird because, you know, I generally do not watch our show because I'm highly critical of myself, and it's just uncomfortable for me seeing myself, you know. But I do recall.
You're right there.
I know. It's weird.
I know. FYI,
I know. I'm right there, but.
Keep checking out my boobs.
I just, yeah, well, I got something in my fucking way, but okay, I can look over there. So if you see me cut my glance over there, yeah, man. But
Willie Nelson's happy.
It just reminds me, you know, we said some things, specifically you, Ken, about what we felt would be necessary to stop some of the police violence. You said something very specific, and I sort of co-signed it to a degree, about the police brutality, the seemingly one-way traffic when it comes to the police murders. Not police brutality, because they whip everybody's ass, you know, but the people that we said, you know, that live to talk about it, you know, seem to have like literally no melanin. And you mentioned something about maybe they should start getting shot. Do you want to talk about that, since two officers since that program actually got shot?
Okay. So, and by the way, if, again, the latter part, maybe like the last two shows, I did amend this. But yes, for the
did? Was it with the Sam Jackson show? Did you amend it?
Yeah.
Okay, because, you know, since I was...
Not that, you know, I'd readily admit, like, for the first 2.5 years of this show, I've been screaming for the cops to get shot, because I'm just like what else is going to stop them? You know, they have to start pausing, you know, before they do some heinous shit, and because the system is not going to... I'm trying to be serious. God damn it.
Blonde moment.
The system is not going to stop them. They're, you know, the politicians, their supervisors are always looking for a way for them to have been within their rights. And well, it's always justified. You know, they never come out and say something was unjustified. So I'm like, hey, you know, maybe if the cops start getting shot, and like I said, some of the incidents that's taking place, like, definitely need like hardcore retribution. Well, of course, but if you remember, you can go back to the video. What did I always say? I'm like, these goddamn blacks always fucking go after the wrong people. Once again, two fucking officers, and I will admit, I've said it in the past, and I'll still say it right here. If you're a cop and you're just standing by and you're not getting on the news when some fucking innocent person, and I say person, it doesn't matter if they're black or white or whatever, when an innocent person gets gunned down by the pigs, and you're not saying at least, yes, that was wrong, I hope justice actually is delivered this time, and worse yet, you're not saying anything because you're behind the blue wall, you're just as guilty as them. So, oh well, if you get fucking taken out. And guess what? Some innocent bastards got taken out. Well, here in Brooklyn. Yes. What?
Yeah. No. What I was, you know, because I got into this discussion with several people after it happened, and they asked me my opinion, and what I said was, number one, I don't use innocent, because in the case of the Brown guy, the guy in Staten Island, all these individuals,
they weren't directly culpable.
Yeah, they may have done things that were not punishable by the death sentence. That's what I meant. So if you're a horrible thug that stole potato chips and beer, and you pushed the guy down, and you sassed the police, yeah, you should get a fine, if not 30 days in jail or whatever it is. If you have priors, you got to do some time, but it's not punishable by death. So I would say, I would always say these individuals didn't deserve to die. I won't say you're innocent, because these two cops could have been on the take. We don't know. Right. But at that particular point in time, they didn't do anything that deserved death. But the way I guess, rationalized it within myself and what I put out there on the show was, it's the fact that these individuals that didn't deserve to die is what hurt people so much. The fact that these two officers had come from home, checked in, punched a clock, and went to work, and next thing you know, were dead. And people were outraged because like they didn't deserve it. They were just sitting there. That's how the fuck we felt for years. That these individuals didn't deserve death, and that dissatisfaction we felt. At least there was some closure when this individual got gunned down or he killed himself, because the original statement was the guy was shot, and then that was like, I don't know what happened to that within 11 hours or so. It was he took his own life.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is, but sadly, we have been saying on this show for years that there's the world that we would like to live in and what we project, and then there's the real world. There's the human being that we always want to put forward, and then there's the real human. And the reason I say that is because I feel that the pain that people feel over the cops' deaths is the only thing that's going to evoke change.
Absolutely.
And now that there's basic innocent blood or whatever, undeserving blood on the street that's police officers now people want to take notice of it. It's a shame that it has to come to that.
But the problem is, though, and people, they can't get past their emotions to see the logic of what you just said. All they're going to see is these innocent cops got killed, so we have to get even harder. And that's why I remember before these cops even got killed, that's why I amended my statement, because I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? Shooting these pigs, and these pigs deserve to be shot. All it's going to do is band them together to, have a definitely a us against them mentality. And
which they've already done with de Blasio.
Right, exactly. Around Brooklyn, precincts were barricaded after that shit took place. These cops were gearing up, and there was word that
some kind of civil unrest and stuff like that. Yeah.
But they were like, we are now in a wartime situation, so we have to act accordingly.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
More justification for brutality.
Right. And that's why I was like, okay, that's what's going to happen. Again, I thought this before these two cops got shot. Then I was like, why do they keep doing this? Because they're allowed to. Why are they allowed to? Because the system and the protocols say it's okay, you're innocent, you did nothing wrong. Who makes all that shit? Politicians, police captains. They're the ones who have to get blasted. They're the ones who have to get taken out in their fucking driveways. Shoot the fucking politicians. It sounds
Quote,
funny. Yeah, it sounds funny. Yeah, quote unquote. Yeah.
Thanks for saving me on that.
It sounds funny, like this is, we're making jokes and stuff, but the reality is, seriously, until they can feel what the oppressed has felt, and I've said either you attack the money, realistically attack the money.
Exactly.
Just stop being consumers for a measure of time to where they take notice, or take what's even more valuable than their money, which is their blood, which is horrible. But protesting and stuff like that, I commend people for uniting, but all it does is inconvenience you. You go out there, you waste ink, you waste time, you're uncomfortable, you're getting rained on, you have people pepper spraying, you have all this other kind of shit, and you actually don't evoke any change. You direct a lot of attention, but what does it actually do?
Evoke any change.
Yeah.
It does absolutely nothing. That's why I was always a Malcolm X guy as opposed to a Martin Luther King guy. Because one guy was like, okay, yeah, I believe in solidarity and all that stuff, but I also believe in defending myself also. And until and it's a shame that humans have to go to these barbaric, extremes. And that's what I've been saying. That's humanity for it. You chop somebody in the head, they'll take notice of you. We've said about, an ass whooping. Everyone understands a whooped ass. No matter what language you are, when your ass is hurt, oh shit, that's pain. Everyone acknowledges that. Oh, that shit hurts. All that other stuff, that's political nonsense. But how do you feel about this? Because you weren't on the show when we were saying all of this kind of fucking shit for years and stuff like that.
Conveniently.
Convenient. But from your perspective, how do you feel about this?
I don't know. It's tough because I can't relate on a certain level. I can have compassion about what a certain cultural group might be going through during something like this, but I can't relate to the feeling of it because I haven't had to deal with any of the racism or the
profiling.
I haven't had to. And with everything that's happened since all these shootings, what I've taken from it is almost now I'm getting the finger pointed at me because I'm white, and people are saying that I'm white privilege and like blaming me for it. I'm like, wait, I have compassion. I understand.
This shit is your fucking fault.
But it's
No.
not my fault.
I know.
Like, I didn't do anything. I'm not a racist person. I don't attack or profile other people. And it's like I all of a sudden get bopped into this category just for being me. And I'm not trying to say that makes me understand what you go through, because that's not what I'm getting at all. But
it's a repercussion of it's a byproduct, rather.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct. And I'm glad you said that, because there's a lot, you know, Tim Wise, the orator Tim Wise, had once said something, and I thought was kind of poignant, and it just really touched me, and it made a lot of sense. When he said after Katrina, FEMA came in and didn't really give aid to the lower middle class and the poor. And he was like, those lower middle class and the poor, the blacks and the whites were fighting amongst themselves, but both of the lower class demographics got passed over.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's class. It's us, you, the haves and the have-nots. And, you know, whereas, like, Ken, you're always saying we picked the wrong fights. Fighting with you or making you feel now uncomfortable is not relevant to our actual struggle, because you didn't actually do anything. Now, it's just human nature. You know, I will honestly tell you, when I saw, because I was a younger man, when I saw the Rodney King beatdown, and when nothing happened to those cops, I didn't go out there and do anything, but you can best believe, and I like to be honest about myself, because I'm a real person. I have real tendencies. At one point in time, I was like, fucking crackers, I want to beat them all to death. Oh, my God. But then common sense prevailed. I was like, you know, this doesn't need, Reginald Denny didn't do a fucking thing to me. Those cops did. They need to get the bricks upside their head. So then I tried to focus it, but not everybody's going to be able to do that, because when you're in a raw emotional state. But I mean, do you feel, okay, the fact that, you know, what I said, that the fact that the cops were, I won't use the term innocent, but they did not deserve to die. That pain, do you feel, in other words, there's any other way to resolve the situations that we have in this country now peacefully? And realistically?
No.
I'm glad you're honest. Yeah.
No. I mean, it's so much bigger than just that. I mean, it, like you were saying, it's the politicians, it's the people who make the laws and enforce the laws. And if you're not getting involved on the level that we can get involved in, nothing's going to change. Like, if you're not out there voting and you're not out there telling people that you're pissed off with the way they're running things, they're going to keep running things the way they want to run things. Yeah. They've got the money, they've got the power. So, like, I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, I've said that for years. If you can't stop the money, you have to stop something else. And
stop giving in to where their money comes from.
And that's the thing, you know, even here at the station where we're shooting right now, I heard conversations in the hallway, people, you know, talking about, you know, you gotta, you know, pick this Saturday we should, you know, not buy this and not buy that. I'm like, what the fuck is one Saturday going to do? You know, okay, so they'll be, what, $1 million short of their $1 billion quota. Woo.
Well, it's going to have to be, you know, I used a lot of movie references on this show. I've always used a lot of movie references. And for those people that may have seen Hack Snyder's The 300, and if you know the premise of it, was 300 of these Spartans that went to fight the Persians. And they burned their vessels.
Very sexily.
Yeah, they was all muscled up, mad oily and shit, muscled up for the ladies and shit, or the guys that's, you know, into that stuff. And basically they burned their ships because they were like, there was no retreat. We don't even want to have it in our mind that we can go, you know what, fuck this, this is too hard. And it's going to take that kind of commitment.
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of commitment and conviction, you're going to be, you know, you could possibly die. You could possibly die, but it's going to take a unified stand that's going to make you uncomfortable as far as in not purchasing whatever it is, or literally physically going to war. Because if those things don't happen, and I've racked my brain, Andre, is there something, or, you know, because that's the real me. And I'm skillet sauce, but that's the real me, because I've been Andre way before I was skillet sauce. And Ken and I got fucking harassed at our block, I didn't even have an email. That's how long ago it was. And I have little cousins. You understand that? And they're males. And I feel for their future, something has to happen now, drastic, in order to ensure that they will have a future to where, I think it's bad enough now that the current mayor de Blasio had to tell his son, who is black, you know, with the afro, you know, whatever, you know, what he had to tell him. You know, he had to basically say, if you have any encounters with the cops, you know, like you always say, Ken, pick your fights. Basically emasculate yourself so you can come home to me.
Yeah.
Placate the police and emasculate yourself. And it burns me that we have to do that. But hey, it's better than getting fucking shot dead. And I hope that I live long enough to have a day where we don't even have to emasculate ourselves, where we can peacefully, or if we want to, be belligerent and whatever, as long as we don't put hands on the cops or whatever, and still make it home. You know, I mean, because we've made jokes on the show that, you know, the police think blacks are ninjas. I mean, because we can get up out of any handcuff, apparently because when we're handcuffed, we get shot. Anything that we hold in our hand is a lethal weapon, because if we have it, it's justification for us getting shot. You know, if we don't have anything on our hands, we have, you know, the kung fu grip from back in the days. We could chop their heads off. We have to get shot. Everything. And I hope before I'm off this planet, dying of a very old age, that I get a chance to see to where there is some equality, but I feel the only way that's going to happen is an aggressive stance.
Civil war.
Yeah, civil war, basically civil war.
And speaking of civil war and aggression, a personal plea for me, can somebody shoot Giuliani? Anybody? Can somebody just do it?
Yeah, he's a whore
because
master. He's a
this
complete
cat
whore master.
Is the gall to say that de Blasio and Obama and all these people who are showing any type of sympathy, you know, for our situation is spurning on cop killers.
Him. What was the man supposed to do? His son is black. What the fuck was he supposed to do? I mean, he is a father before he's a politician.
Yeah, well.
And it's like no one takes that into account. What is he supposed to?
They take it into account. They just don't give a fuck.
They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And you know, and I challenge anybody, because people are like, oh, you guys are skewed. Show me the national cases of white guys getting gunned down dead. I know there's the don't tase me bros. There is the, hey, I'm in the wheelchair, what you pushing me over for? There's the ass whoopings, there's everything else. Well, but where's the blatant, I'm getting shot to death cases?
Do you think there's a cultural difference in how blacks and whites talk to cops? Because you were just saying, like, in order for his son to come home, he has to be emasculated.
Yes.
Why so? If a cop's going to harass you, let him harass you. How is that emasculating?
Well, no, the emasculating is, well, I feel if I'm, well, as evinced by that case where the drunk guy with the gun, the drunk white guy with the gun, where they talked to him for 40 minutes. My thing is, if the cop is saying, hey, buddy, you have something in your bag, or do you have this in your bag? As a citizen, as a tax-paying citizen, I can say, hey, look, man, fuck off, Flatfoot, and keep it moving without feeling the risk of being shot. Because I know I have seen with my own eyes enough drunk white boys in New Orleans and Mardi Gras cause cops physical pain, cause the horse to flip over. He got his ass whipped. He did not get killed. So my thing is, if I should be able, within my First Amendment right, to say whatever I want, as long as I don't present a physical threat to you, a realistic physical threat to you. And that's the whole emasculation thing. Because if you're pissing me off and harassing me, I should be able to, yo, man, fuck off, man. Look, man, I'm tired. Leave me the fuck alone, man. I'm not doing anything. Whatever. Here's my ID, man. Kiss my ass, man. I should be able to say that and be nasty and sassy without having a fear of a bullet. Because who the fuck are these guys? They're civil servants. I don't have to kiss anybody's ass, but actually I do, or else I'm going to be laying on my ass with 5 bullets in my chest. And that's why I say, it's not like, I don't believe, and I've seen and witnessed with my own eyes, white guys have cussed cops just as much as black guys. It's just the perception of us, or the threat perceived, makes them take, obviously, other courses of action. Now, whether they're so fearful that, like I said, we have some underground ninjutsu training, or if it's just, they're just racially biased or what, I don't know. I don't see that, it's to the individual. But clearly, we do not have the same luxuries. I won't say a luxury. We don't not have the same abilities to exercise our freedom of speech when it comes to police officers unless it's something complimentary. So it's either say something complimentary, toe the line and placate, or shut the fuck up. But don't say anything like fuck off, flatfoot, or whatever. Don't do that. We can't. So, and then it's just how we are perceived, you know. And it's just, until that's stopped, I don't think there's anything that's going to make the police officers not treat us that way. But if I had my cousin after the Ferguson situation, she told her 2 sons what Bill de Blasio told his son. Don't fight with them. Don't say nothing. If they tell you to keep it moving, don't sit there. They tell you don't do this, don't do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boss. Keep it moving. And that's not fair. That's not fair. You know, like I said, until I see cases of white young males being gunned down for what? Because
it's not fair, but in the same token, like, that's what my father told me to say to the cops. Like, I just think it's across the board, that's just what we all should do, because why start a fight when there doesn't need to be a fight?
Of course, unless you like. But see, in our situation, Ken and I's situation, we were literally being harassed. There was no reason.
And that's where it's different. And that's why I can't relate. That's why I can't relate. Why can't you just keep your mouth shut?
Yeah, exactly.
Because and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to.
I have been stopped. There was a situation where I was on my bike. I'm an avid cyclist, right? And I came out of a store, an organic market, mind you, and it said organic market, no alcohol. I come out, I walk my bike to the curb, put my body over the bike, took 1 pedal so I can enter the street with some motion so I won't get hit by the illegal dollar vans that were on Flatbush Avenue. The guy saw me, I saw him. He comes over, hey buddy, what are you bothering me for? Well, you were riding on the sidewalk. No, motherfucker, what those 4 white people are doing across the street is riding on the sidewalk because they're fully pedaling. What that Asian dude with that electric bike is doing on the sidewalk is riding on the sidewalk. You know what I did? I just took, be quiet. Okay, he asked me what I had in my bag. No, that's none of your business. What did I do? Do you have any alcohol in there? I'm coming from an organic market. Do you have any ID?
Your stuff could have been some fermented prunes or something.
Yeah, fermented drinks and stuff. I said, you know, do you have your ID? And I told him, yes, I have my ID, but I'm not going to show it to you. What do I need to show it you for? I haven't done anything wrong. And it was a whole big drawn out affair because they just wanted to fuck with me when literally I pointed over his shoulder and said, look at the 4 white people coming out of Prospect Park on fucking Lincoln between Ocean and Flatbush riding down the hill on the sidewalk.
Probably with pot in their pockets.
The GPS coordinates for that as well?
Huh? I wish I did, but I know there's cameras over there. So if I did get gunned down and somehow my folks had some good lawyer, they could show that these guys, they just wanted to fuck with me. They just wanted to fuck with me. So it's situations like that to where I know there's a racial component to it. You know, there's definitely a racial component to it. And like I said, somehow we always wind up being the ones that are killed. If it was, give me just 2 cases in 10 years. 2 national cases in 10 years where some white guy got gunned down wrongfully. Give me one. Give me one. Give me one. So, but whatever. Whatever.
Well, we are back, ladies.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah. On a lighter note.
Well, actually, we are just about out of damn time.
Holy shit, look at that shit, man. Can you believe it? Well, you know what? No, I think that needed to be said because literally when I don't, because I didn't see when you amended your statement. I remember I was like, holy shit, we actually advocated actual violence against the police department and 2 officers. When it happened, I was like, holy fuck. It's a good thing our ratings are so fucking low.
It's a good thing we only have 2 followers.
Exactly. I was like, holy shit.
I was watching the TV. I'm like, come on, say insanity check. Say insanity check.
This fucking guy. I was like, oh my God, we're going to go up to the station because no, they said for anyone that said that thing on the people that was on social media, like good for them, and I hope that happened, they were talking about arresting these people. For terrorist fucking comments or whatever the fuck. So I was like, oh yeah. Shit. So
I'll just help out movie promotion.
This segue was necessary. The next show will be much more lighthearted. None of that bullshit, No, it's not bullshit, but we'll try and keep it light,
But anyway, y'all.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. 2015.
Back.
We're back.
All of us. We're all back.
We're back, y'all.
Yay. So it's a skillet sauce.
Ken.
Supernat.
We'll be back next week. Catch you later.
Take care.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Old school.
We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, baby.